Well, here I am again at Motha's, and I wanted to show you something very briefly concerning the gutter. Okay, you see she's got this tree up here, and she kept pestering me a couple years ago that she wanted a gutter guard. And you can install gutter guards over the top of your gutter, and I'm going to show you what she ended up doing. And see, she's got a higher gutter over here, there's lower gutters here that go around here, and she's got gutters everywhere, but the only place where she's got a tree close to the gutter is right here. So I kept telling my mother, hey, if you do want gutter guards, all we have to do is put it on this, and around the corner. No sense putting it up here and putting it over here and over on this side of the house. No need. Okay? And she just laid it on me today. I'm out here visiting Motha for the next week or so, and she says, oh, can you put some gutter guards on for me? And I thought she meant right here. And and she says, no, I want them over here because I've already got them over here. And I says, what do you mean you got them over here? Yeah, last year I paid somebody to come out here and put the gutter guards. And I said, you did what? She goes, yeah. And I said, well, it couldn't have cost you very much. She said it cost her $1,000. About freaked. Because all it is this section, and one other section. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, if you want gutter guards, install them yourself. There's no need to spend thousands of dollars. Can you imagine if she did the whole entire house and around the back and all this other kind of stuff? You know, if she spent $1,000 here, I'll bet you $2,500 or more for gutter guards. Okay, let's get up there and see what they look like. Seems as though she paid for them. We're going to show you how they installed it, what it looks like. And see, you can go to the Home Depot or Lowe's. You can buy gutter guard pieces. They're about 3 feet long, and you can put them on. Some of them you have to cut. They've got all different kinds of styles. We're going to check this one out and see what they did for $1,000. Yuck. Okay, let's see what's going on up here. I got you on my tripod, and we're gonna see what these gutter guards happen to look like up here. Okay, that's it. See, they just go to there, and see how it is. I mean, they look nice, but I wouldn't pay $1,000 for them. Sorry. I mean, there's a little flange to it, and that goes up underneath the gutter. I'm not quite sure how that's installed. You know, it just pushes up there, and then it's got some fine mesh on there, which is good, and then some other stuff on there, which gives it the strength and gives you enough air to dry things out and stuff. And then they've attached it on the front here, see, with these screws every so often. So I mean, it does look good, and I've not ever seen this kind at Lowe's or the Home Depot. They got other stuff, but you see, here's a joint right here, and these happen to look like they're maybe 4 feet long. See, there's another seam right there, right in there. I don't know if you can see that. And then they had to cut it for around the corner. See, they did that really nice. Okay, and they probably have it for, you know, different sizes, and then this fits for this particular gutter, and this is a piece that's on top of that, and then it sets on top of the back side of the gutter. Okay, and then when they screw the front, where's it going to go? It's not going to go anywhere. This flange is here, and the water comes down, it hits that, and then it drips over this. Okay, so obviously that's going to keep anything out of there, even small stuff like this. Because see, some gutter guards, they might have a mesh, but not as small as this top mesh. See how small it is? And that's actually a good thing, because if you get anything bigger than that, then if you get small stuff like this, or different things, you could still get it going down into there. And then what happens is it could start eating away your gutter. Now, on the other side, I just cleaned out her gutters on the other side, and what's happened is you get all kinds of grit on here, and dirt, dust, and stuff. And then when it rains, it all comes down, and then it comes down into the gutter over there, like it would over here. And then it builds up. And over there, in certain areas, I scraped up maybe a thin layer about like that. It was like some dirt and some sand, grit, all mixed together, and it was on the bottom. And so I scraped all that up with a putty knife, went all along there and scooped all of it, scooped it, and got all that stuff out of there. That kind of stuff, is it possible for it to come down in here? Maybe, but hardly any. So that's actually good that this screen material on top is nice and stout, and it's nice and small. But $1,000, I don't think I'm gonna spend $1,000. I'm gonna show you the rest of this here in a minute. Got my mother's trusty little giant ladder out here. That thing works pretty good. It's kind of tricky to use, but once you get the hang of it, it works out pretty good. This one was the old style one that's really super heavy, but they have a new little giant nowadays that's not as heavy. Okay, so see here they've done it some more. Okay, so it's just this section. It's just that section and along this front edge. And over there on that other side where I was before, and that's going to protect you from these leaves. But $1,000, she said it was over $1,000. I'm going to take her for her word on that. But in any case, all right, they did a good job on the install and stuff. And I don't know if you can actually get this at the store. I mean, you go to different stores and they all have something different. Every year they get something different. You can go to 3 hardware stores and get 3 different kinds, 4 different kinds. You call up a place online or some place where you see an ad for gutter guards, and it seems like each person has their own favorite style that they like to install. But this one looks like it's pretty good, and it looked pretty easy for them to install it. And like I say, it comes in 4-foot pieces, so you can manhandle those puppies and measure them off and get them just right. This was a little tricky for them to fit it underneath there and to get it over here, and they did it. You know, I must say they did a nice job on it. Okay, but I'm still choking with the amount of money she spent just for these 3 gutters. All right, so a word to the wise: are gutter guards a good thing? Yeah, they're a good thing, but if you really want them, think about installing them yourself. And hey, if you don't want them, what do you have to do? Well, each year it's best to get up there in the fall or before the fall and clean your gutters out. Because once you get the leaves in there, I'm telling you, once the leaves build up in there, then they get really soggy and sludgy on the bottom, and that is wet all the time. And then after years of that, it starts building up more. You're liable to have leaks. You're liable to have the gutter back up. You're liable to have all that stuff flowed over your downspout end that comes out into your downspout, and then once that covers up, your water can build up, come over the edge. It could build up and maybe back up on the roof a little bit, but chances are it's not going to. If you see your water coming out, then of course you've got to clean your gutters. It's not a fun job, and lots of times the gutters get clogged up, and then you would have to disconnect your downspout if you can't get it cleared with a hose. Pull that off, flush that out, clean that out. I mean, it's a day job doing all that. So you've got to ask yourself. Oh, and And if you leave the sludgy stuff in there for months on end, after a while, what can happen is it can start eating your gutter apart, and then it starts rusting out the bottom. I've seen it happen, and then at that point, yeah, it's going to be a major thing, because you're going to have to take the gutters off, replace your gutters, match your gutters, tie your gutters back in, repaint your gutters to match the rest of your gutters and all that. Now we're talking some good money there. And lots of gutters in the old days, well, I'd say in the old days, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, they used to have a flange on the back side of the gutter that went up on the roof, and you install your gutters first before the roof goes on, you know, over the plywood, over the OSB plywood up there. And that's how they used to install the gutters. Well, nowadays they don't do that. Most of them are flangeless, and they'll screw them in after they install the roof. All the tiles, they'll just lift it up there and screw it in, and with their brackets and all this. I've seen them do it. And so what I'm saying is, if you ever have to replace your gutters, and if it's the old gutters, and if it has the flange, you're going to have to take off the bottom layer of your roof in order to just get the gutter flange off of there. In order to do that, you're going to have to take off your tiles, and depending what kind of tiles you have, maybe you break some of the tiles, maybe it's not a good thing to do that, and maybe now all of a sudden you're into more money. Okay, so hey, you do however you want, but what I would suggest is keep your gutters cleaned out once a year, or maybe once every 2 years, let's say, and go up there and do the dirty work and all that. If you don't have any gutter guards, once you put your gutter guards on, you basically don't have to worry about that. But what I'm saying too is on the gutters, on the gutter guards, you want the stuff with some fine mesh on the top, kind of like these. Okay, I've seen some at the Home Depot, and I put one little piece on it at my house, and there's a grill, and they're diamond-shaped ones, and they're about yay big, in a diamond shape, okay? And they'll keep out the leaves and all that kind of stuff, but the grit and grime that comes off your roof, that's going to be caught still inside the gutter. Then you have to take your hose and kind of hose through the gutter guard to try to get any sludge that's in your gutter, and you might want to think about doing that if you don't get the very fine mesh like these. Okay, so some things to think about on your gutters. All right, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. With that, it's time to go in and eat.